so missions has always been a big part of most churches. This is how they share the story of their religion, or just like what has gone on with like the past and the present and everything. If there weren't missionaries, then no one would believe in any religion. All would be dead, and we would be living a boring life. When people choose to take on missions, they gain joy in serving others. They get to watch people as they are witnessing to them and watch them grow in their spiritual walk with God. It exists because we want to share the love of Christ so that we can one day spend eternity with Him. So the first reason why the missions exist is because when we take on the mission of God, it brings joy to us, and it also brings joy to God. So that joy comes from serving others and not serving ourselves. So for example, whenever I go on mission trips in Brazil, we all the time bring food, we help build houses, and just a lot of construction stuff that, you know, it's easy for someone to say, hey, I did that, like that's all me. And it does bring joy whenever we do serve other people, because we get to help them, we see them get better, and it's something that's like really cool because, you know, you're doing something good, but it's also like making you feel good as well, instead of making you feel like, oh, I feel so bad for them, you know, I hate that they're having to go through all this and stuff. I also get to teach women things that my mom's taught me. So mom's taught me growing up, you know, to love and to be someone who has a serving heart. And so whenever I go into favelas in Brazil and stuff, I get to share with them, you know, my testimony and how, you know, my mom's raised me and everything, which is something super cool. Even when it comes to serving, that still gives you the opportunity to build a relationship. So if I wanted to talk to one of you, you know, I would probably take you out and we would go do something that would be a conversation starter. So by doing these works and stuff in Brazil, it does give a good conversation starter. And also when you do acts of kindness on mission trips and stuff, it allows you to build that foundation for a relationship. I've built a relationship with a girl named Laura in Brazil. She has a kid and she has another one on the way, and so we've talked back and forth just because we've built a relationship with each other. Sometimes it's hard to remember that we aren't getting the glory for building the houses or anything, and I think that's one thing that is hard whenever you do go on mission trips, is taking your eyes off of what you've done and say, okay, like I was blessed with these abilities, so I'm gonna give the glory to God. When on a long-term mission trip, we get to watch people grow in their faith and we witness their life change. So like I said with Laura and everything, I wasn't there whenever she first had her first kid, but we met 2 years after he was born, and it's really cool because I've watched him kind of grow up over the past 2.5, 3 years, and I've also kind of seen her take this life from feeling like worthless and stuff and like she can't do anything to seeing her kind of grow up a little bit and actually become a mom. Because she had her first kid at 15, and so at 15 you don't really know like what to do with a kid. That's kind of like having a dog by yourself. And so it's awesome that I get to watch her grow and actually become a mom and see her become this like completely different person that she wasn't in the beginning. So we kind of built trust in a weird way. She didn't want to come to church. I told her she had to come to church. Ended up she came to church, and that was honestly kind of a conversation starter because we're both very hard-headed. And I like saw her as someone that really needed to come to church. So I was like, hey, you're coming. And so our relationship today, it looks completely different from what it did then. We both have a really deep love for each other. I love her son to death. I mean, he's a kid that I could honestly bring home, but I'm not going to do that to her. And also, like, with watching Lucas grow up, like, in the favelas and stuff, it's really rough. There's, like, a lot of, like, drug deals and, you know, scary stuff that goes on. And so getting to watch Lucas grow up and not be exposed to that is something that's really cool, too, because you can see, like, this generation that's coming. They're not acting like their parents. They're not doing the same things as their parents and stuff. And so that's something that's like super cool to get to watch and see how that's coming from this like dirty ball and kind of spiraling over and like cleaning off. So point 3 is we exist to share the love of Christ so that we can glorify God and live with Him forever. Most people are scared to tell others about Christ here in the States, and honestly, I think that's just with everyone. don't wanna sit here and be like, hey, dude, are you saved? Like, are you sure? Like, but in other countries and stuff where there's a language barrier, it's so much easier to kind of like tell them, because you have a translator coming, and if you mess up, and if you say, well, I don't know what to say, they got you, and they're like, okay, blah, 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 and they'll kind of like wing it for you. So you have that, like, almost like a cushion to fall back on, and you don't when you're here. Like here, you know, if someone questions you and you don't know the answer, you don't have a translator to say, here's the answer. So it's okay to be different, and I think that's what makes us missionaries, is we're set apart, and we do stuff for the glory of God. I wanted to share this, or we want to share this because it makes God happy to have people in His kingdom. My friend Josie, she is moving to Brazil in October, and she set her like whole support system up with like LifePoint, and it's really cool because she has been there for me the past couple times I've been to Brazil and stuff. So it's really cool to get to watch her grow up and stuff. And there's a quote on like this website called like 20 Christian Quotes. And it says, we must be global Christians with global visions because our God is a global God. And I think that's something that's really cool because honestly, I feel like that just hits the hammer right on the head. And also with, I mean, I know you guys are college students, but there's more than 400 or 40,000 college students, and most are unreached by the gospel. So that could be the same number here. So apply that, you know, like that could be applied here as well. And there's so many more places. Like there's a couple like off of this Amy Strong Academy thing where they like share their whole testimony of like growing up and then going into missions and stuff like that. And you know, there's like a whole bunch of other places, you know, WY, Cliff Life. That's a good place too to find testimonies and everything. So in conclusion, our family loves to serve and loves to go on missions, and we love doing it, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I just thought I would inform you guys on it.